have a cheat, though. I know how to cheat. You go to the other people's streams that were already casting them. That's how you do it. Alright, well, as far as I know, it's a fresh series. On the top right, that is the red Terran. It is HeRoMaRiNe. And in the bottom left, as the blue Protoss, it is Gungfubanda. Hey, look at that. It was a fresh series. Nailed it. Nailed it. Gotta cast that HeRoMaRiNe, man. This is the lower side of the bracket, but not the lower bracket. It's a little more delayed than the other side, because reasons. Let's just leave it at that. It happens in open brackets. But Gungfu making it all the way to the round of 8 here. HeRoMaRiNe, I think we kind of expected. A lot of pressure on this guy. A lot of expectations. I don't know if it's necessarily pressure. But a lot of expectations. HeRoMaRiNe just defeated Seoul in a TVT to get here, whereas Gungfu defeated Kelazur to get here. I feel like Kelazur might have been the easier opponent, but Seoul can be kind of like hot and cold sometimes. I think he's finally... It sounds like he's finally coming into his own. You know, being a little more dependable in results, because he was one of those Terrans that was like, oh, is he, you know, gonna take over Euthermal's title and then Clem's title, I guess, now, and so on and so forth. But it never really happened, and he would even kind of drop out early in tournaments he really shouldn't have type thing. But it sounds like he's doing a lot better. But regardless, trying to size up these two players as they face each other. Gungfu does have the warm-up, I guess, PVT. There's the good news. And HeRoMaRiNe can sometimes... how do I want to put it? He can sometimes be a little bit like Idra, I guess. You can Idra a bit. Not leaving a one game, but rather just... This game went poorly, I'm going to tap out even if there's a chance to come back type thing. Like, sometimes. I don't think he's a player like that at all generally. But I've seen it once or twice in open qualifiers that are really long and they're getting tired and it's getting to play night and blah, blah, blah. I think he's streaming, so probably tell how he feels about this matchup. Gungfu, I would say, is not supposed to beat HeRoMaRiNe, but we'll see. Reaper does go down. Nice control of the Adept there. Saw nothing because technology is not being thrown down yet. A little later that Stargate started the Stalker before the sorry, not Stargate, Twilight Council. Started the Stalker before the Twilight Council, so didn't get any reveal there. But so it goes. The Reaper knew they knew it was not gonna see it with the first scout. The technology, unless it really stays in the main base, and unfortunately died. So big question mark there. Might figure it out eventually. Depth first, not a uncommon starter for basically any build. And he's just gonna have to wait for his Widowmine drop to really determine what's going to go happen in here. Wants to take out the Adept if given the chance, but Gungfu has already gotten what he wanted. He already got the scouting done, saw a factory, and that's a lot of information, especially because the factory didn't have any production add-ons, rather. SCV was going for a bit of a cheeky timing there. Sometimes you can just bypass units that are in the main base. Maybe, you know, not killing the SCV before it gets up there. Maybe they're scouting around for proxy start, but I don't know. You know, sometimes it happens. Nope, didn't happen here. Just saw 2 stalkers. Not a lot of information. Didn't even see the third base timing, which it could have hung around a little bit there and been able to determine a lot of things from that. Nope, not this game. So HeRoMaRiNe, as I said, waiting for that medevac to really have a good idea. You do start to time out the Stargate potential, and just like the seconds go by, and you're like, okay, no, it's not an Oracle. And seeing 2 stalkers might actually just give me the idea that it's not an Oracle, but it's not an Oracle, it's not a Phoenix, then a Widowmine drop is a go. Should be able to get something done and ideally survive, but HeRoMaRiNe going into a tank and Raven behind this, not immediately into the 2 barracks. Who said Phoenix is going to see this as it comes in? The units are already positioned, though, and HeRoMaRiNe, yeah. It's going to be like, you know what? You know what? How about no? How about I don't do that? How about I wait? And that's the right call. Their Nexus is on the way. Gungfu has a unit scouting for the other potential Woodamine drop location, so really nice defense here from our Protoss. HeRoMaRiNe just forced to really focus on his macro, because his attack is not going to do very much. Ooh, and the Hallucinated Phoenix, it's a full scouts. It would have already seen the 3rd CC timing, which is a lot of information. But getting the confirmation on what's producing here, and then also seeing this little tidbit about the Raven being produced. No Tech Lab researching, yet Tech Lab was on that starport producing something. Gonna be a Raven, right? You don't get a safety Banshee in this matchup. Because it's not very safe. It'll just die. So, both of them have a good idea, I think, of what's going on, even though HeRoMaRiNe never really truly scouted. If his default assumption is macro, he'd be correct. It's double upgrades, blink, and then charge. His Raven, ooh, being quite bold here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, it's so dangerous to use your Raven like this. There's always that chance they'll be able to tear it down, but ideally they defend on the main base and then you run out, right? Having it found at the 4th is, oof. Oh, bad. Bad, bad, bad. And you can't recall the Raven out, man. If only. That could play a big part in the game. Obviously, he was going to use the energy for auto turrets anyways, so it's not like it could help out with an interference matrix or an anti-armor missile, but if only you could pull that back and then help out with this push, be looking a little bit better. Actually, this push is really weird. This push is super weird. I don't think that Gungfu has to be scared of this push at all. His charge just finished. Okay, I feel like HeRoMaRiNe got a bit lucky with that one. That was a weird push. That was like no upgrades, literally no upgrades, no 1-1, no stim, no combat shields. Did he just do it just to get his Raven free? He goes for the Woodamine drop on the natural, and it does get 2 probes, but that's it. Medevac does survive, but that was... That just... With charge finishing up, I was quite scared for that push, but he escapes, so whatever. And you know what? The Raven also escapes. So it worked. If that was his idea, it worked. Oh, no. Oh, Blink's almost on cooldown. Well, that Raven is a secret ninja. And not a very effective ninja, because ninjas are like assassins, right? But it's staying alive. So not much happened in this game at all. Gungfu taking a 4th base. A lot of potential things could have happened, but nothing actually did. Finally, a little bit of action as the left side awkwardly finding each other's harassment, as the right side is actually where the main armies are. Woodamine's going to take out 2 Zealots. That's an okay trade for Gungfu there, and HeRoMaRiNe realizes, hey, that army's on the map. That's a little scary. Let's pull back. Gungfu was also in a position, though, where it was like, is this really going to be a push? Like, hold on. Is it really? I think he was just searching around for an army as exactly like one he found, which is about half of the army. And he was able to just run away. They both bounce off each other. 2-2 started for HeRoMaRiNe a little bit later than Gungfu. He did manage to save his Raven, so that'll finally come into play at like the 9-10 minute mark. Defending against any Warp Prism play, at least a little bit. Getting a Ghost Academy, getting a 4th base. Seriously, macro. Even when something was almost about to happen, it still did not happen. You don't see too many TVPs like this. Usually it's a tank push, usually it's a double drop, usually it's a stim put, like something. Mostly off the Terran side, but Gungfu also not doing anything, I guess, you know, not getting a War Prism for a lot of charge lot harassment, not trying to control the map that much. He is preempting the pushes, though, so we can buy more time. I do like this, but... Oh, interesting. Interference matrix on the rest of the force fields. I would not have thought of that, but it was the only force field left over. Also the only Guardian Shield left over. Immortal gets tagged by the Marauder Slow. It's going to go down here. The High Templars and the Warp Prism not going to be available because the Interference matrix still available. And this actually... Is this just it? No. Okay, oh, Storm, but oh no, the Warp Prism! That one Storm does not make up for losing 4 High Templars. They could have helped so damn much. Oh my god. I mean, a lot of those Marauders are low, but... Oh, wow. Just in the blink of an eye, Gungfubanda dies. I mean, really. If he has 4 extra Storms, I think it's easy. If he has 2-2 before this fight even begins, I think it's easy. And that just goes back to interference the interference of matrixing. It's an awkward. The ramp or the sentry. How? Why? They waited 9.5 minutes for one battle. That's a salty one right there. Because Gungfu, I mean, the age-old question: who gets in a better position if you let each other just do whatever they want? But Gungfu was probably feeling pretty confident about that game. He got to his High Templars. He got to his Warp Prism. He got to his upgrades. Almost. He got to his 4th base with ease. And then he just dies. He just dies. Imagine if that Raven died, man. And that Raven should have died. Well, I guess the same type of game could happen, and Gungfu doesn't just die in one fight. I guess. Bit of a disappointment, really. There's so much buildup. You know, Eternal Empire could have gone to 5-6 bases. Could have been super back and forth. But the damn Raven. Oh well. Top left, up 1. It is the Red Terran HeRoMaRiNe. Bottom left is the Blue Protoss. It is Gungfubanda. Yeah. Yeah. Can't believe that Raven survived. It was being chased, it was being tagged. Like, it's not that Gungfu just kind of forgot about it or F2'd his army, so stalkers were on top of it. Like, he saw it leave, he tried to chase it down. He was playing a really, really good game for the first 7 minutes. 8 minutes. Basically right until that fight. Literally. So, 9.5 minutes. Didn't take any damage from the Widow Mine. The Raven was denied. Took no damage from any sort of push. Stopped HeRoMaRiNe's attempt at, you know, double-pronged aggression with the Zealots on the left side and the army on the right. Knew that he had to buy a little bit more time and shouldn't just let HeRoMaRiNe down that ramp, so he stood there and let his force fields do the work, and it ended up not mattering. Like, that's a very cruel game to lose. And HeRoMaRiNe, you know, his side of things, just thanking God or Buddha or whoever, the Starcraft gods. So the Xel'Naga, I guess, that Raven survived. Without the Raven, that is so much more complicated. Like, those 4 storms could have been dragged over that army because HeRoMaRiNe was very confident. Would he have been as confident if the interference Ajax wasn't there? Well, yeah, of course. Different situation for sure, but 4 storms could have been so helpful. Game evening. Game. No, I don't know about deciding, but certainly it would have made it even, as HeRoMaRiNe's ghosts weren't quite out yet. Oh well. New game, new map. Nightshade does also provide a lot of macro games, though, so if it does happen very similar to, like, last game, I wouldn't be too surprised. Both of them macro players, both of them getting to a good position. Certainly one of the... That last game was a type of game where you just... There's almost not a whole lot to read into it, so you kind of just go like, oh, okay. Next game, please. Like, let's just forget that one. Because you both didn't do very much. I mean, there was a lot of things happening in the minds of the players, of course, so to say they never do very much is inaccurate. Obviously their APM is out of control, but also they're thinking about what could happen and circumventing what could happen, so a lot of things are could happens and should happens, but not actually happening. Let's be real, nothing actually really happened in that game. And then you just lose it because of one guffaw. Yeah, see, that's just a forget about it a game. Forget about it. Bunker coming down from here. Marine doesn't want to take any obnoxious damage from the Adepts. Actually very focused on finding the Adept and getting rid of it ASAP. Probe is going a little sneaky. Little sneak. He's going for a totally regular opener behind this, though. Like, Twilight Council, Gateway, Robo. This shouldn't be the 4 gate, I thought. Maybe this is the build. I don't know, I've seen different timings for these extra gateways. I feel like Mana did it with 3 gateways plus 1. And then, you know, Drogo did it with like 2, 3, 4 kind of thing. And then, alright, maybe it's actually just 3 gate. Okay. Nope. I can't count. Nope, he is proxying it. Okay, so maybe this is the build. So, 4 gate Stalker, War Prism gonna be coming out, gonna provide that early aggression. Alright. Now that we got that cleared up, we know what's going on here. HeRoMaRiNe is sending out Marine to scout for any proxy pylons, any hidden probes. Hell, even a War Prism could fly by and tell him a lot of information. Fortunately, he's not going to see any of that. He does not quite know what's happening. His scouting unit should be denied from seeing that 3rd Nexus. And if it's anything like last game, he never really got a chance to see the 3rd Nexus. He might have assumed the last game was a macro game and been correct about that game, but he would not be correct about it this game. He hasn't seen very much else to tell him anything different, so he's going to go for a push. This is going to be a little bit awkward. Gungfu has access to a lot more stalkers than he would expect to buy time, like from a push like this, and actually HeRoMaRiNe already set up for disaster. Losing 2 tanks not just takes out the power, but this is actually game. This is game. The Observer was there for the bait. Like, this is it. Like, what does HeRoMaRiNe do? He sends his Marines without stem combat shields across the map? I guess that's exactly what he does, but how much can they really do compared to the Stalkers, compared to the Warp-ins? There is no Warp Prism, so that is a big difference. But such an awkward situation right there. The assumption from HeRoMaRiNe that was fine last game, I assume, assumption anyways, does not work out favorably in the 2nd game. Whereas Gungfu, yeah, I guess this pretty easy win. GG. Side up 1-1. Funnily enough, it's very opposite of what usually happens. The first games of the bracket were the interesting back and forth ones. And then the ones that happen later are like a little bit one-sided. Usually the higher you go, the more well-balanced the matchup is, so you get longer games. But alright. Well, that 4-gate thing really coming into this tournament, isn't it? Gungfu needs a bit of a break. Alright. Gungfu's back and ready to go. Game number 3 on Everdream. So will it be another abrupt game? Not so much build order wins as just information wins might actually be accurate. Like, no. Last game was an information win, but the first game was just a whoops-a-daisy. Yeah, the information being quite critical there. HeRoMaRiNe had any idea that there was 4 gateways. Changes up his playstyle. If he thinks that Gungfu has really any pressure out in the map, I think he changes his mind about doing that push. And then if he does stay at home and gets a quick third CC, has his tanks in defensive positions, like, Gungfu wasn't doing that with a Robo, War Prism, sorry. So, it really could have been even a stronghold for HeRoMaRiNe, but that's basically just saying if he did a different build, it would have been a stronghold. Like, oh no, doy. Just because he had it in his mind on that map what he wanted to do, and even if he did have the ability to actually stay at home, that's just not what he was planning on doing. He wasn't doing what Vindicta was doing, he was trying to do a tank push. And Gungfubanda, just, you know what, aggression worked out pretty well. More gateways, more good. Gonna proxy a gateway here, and have one back at home, so. Gonna have protection against the Reaper and harassment on the front lines. HeRoMaRiNe is SCV scouting, but not a particularly quick one. Just enough to warn him about how he uses his Reaper, but not enough to stop the command center from going on location. And against the double, proxy, double gate, you know what I mean? 2 gateways and 1 is proxied. A high ground command center would have been a lot easier to take care of, but as soon as he sees no nexus, he slaps down that bunker, which is exactly the right call. Soccer is only just forming. The problem with the bunker is that it is just it's a house for 2 units. You know, 2 units. That's not a whole lot. Soccer's can still running around it. But it's definitely better than nothing, because the worst case scenario is no bunker, your units die, then you get snowballed on because your factory is not exactly super quick. That's the worst situation. But feeling very confident with that bunker, gets a reactor on his barracks, still has to wait for that factory. As I said, the stalker could try and just walk past the bunker, but without a buddy, without a second stalker to help out, while he might be able to delay the command center, he'd probably lose the stalker to just a decent amount of micro. Well, eventually he would lose the stalker. So not something he actually chooses to do. He's going to have 2 stalkers just kind of controlling, but HeRoMaRiNe really ended up having a perfectly timed SCV scout because he reacted as soon as possible. That bunker comes down 15 seconds later because he's like, oh yeah, I should probably try and defend this.
Thank you for appeasing the overmind.
The bunker is denied. Command center is delayed. And you in trouble. That SCV scout is still alive too. What a hero. What a god. Gungfu does not really commit to it. As soon as he got scouted, it seems, he's just like, you know what? Nope, not really. Look for the Nexus. So I cancel 3rd gateway coming down. HeRoMaRiNe adds a single heli in here. And get some scouting in that main base, probably. Well, it could. Thank you, Gathering, for that Twitch Prime sub. Much appreciated. Every Twitch Prime sub is $5 in your best friend's pocket. Something. That's the war bond saying, right? Are you going to cast Clem versus a laser? I don't know what I'm going to cast. When I exit these series, I say what's available, and then I cast what's available, so I don't know. Proxy hatch is best hatch? We're talking about hatches. He hasn't cast a single Zerg today. Reaper gets a full scout. Doesn't even need the Hellions' help. Hellions scouting for 3rd base, maybe? Reaper dies. Gets the full scout, though, so it's all Gucci. 2. Okay, 3 gateways total in a robo. And what's the engineering bay? Raven once again. Maybe gonna go harass with the Raven again. Look around for an observer first. Tank is on the way, going into the 3 barracks. I mean, could we have a similar push to last game? I don't know. I'd be really afraid to do it. And that push wasn't with a Raven, so I think it is going to be more akin to that first game. One that HeRoMaRiNe won a lot because of this Raven. Helen is found out, but it did see the timing of the third Nexus. Lack thereof. Little concerning to not see a Nexus down. Even though there is intent. HeRoMaRiNe's gonna have to hole up in his main for a little while. It's gonna be a bit more dedicated to stalkers than I would have expected, but that is kind of the choice you still have. 4 gateways, obviously you're gonna do something with the stalkers, because 3 gateways or 2 gateways is the norm. But with 3 gateways, like if you choose to actually just continue warping in stalkers as opposed to going for double forge, charge, third nexus, whatever, then yeah, of course you can still have an attack. But keep in mind what Gungfu is denying himself here. Oh, he gets 1 tank and almost gets the Raven. I think if he got the Raven, it would have been worth the loss of all of those stalkers. But without getting the Raven, I'm not sure that was actually that great. I don't think he can get on top of those combat. Actually, maybe he will. The tank moves. Yeah, and he almost 2-shots it, so he will be getting that combat shield. So good focus fire on the Marauders as well. Gets, I think there was 3 Marauders for the combat shields. Oh, okay, but then loses 2 stalkers. It's like so many almost great things happening here for Gungfu. Behind the scenes getting charged, the third nexus is finishing up, but like I was saying, like he sacrificed things to do this. And his start of this game is already a little bit weird too. So he doesn't have any forges on the way. And his saturation in his base is not very convincing. Here we're on 2 mules at a time is actually doing better. Okay, he's gonna pick up just a handful of Marines. Not really a whole lot compared to the warp-ins that will inevitably happen to defend it. But it's enough that certainly it can take on stalkers and fully unloads. It can get into a mineral line and within 10 seconds slaughter half the probes. And it's going to distract Gungfu and force him to reconsider. It's also going to give HeRoMaRiNe any sort of map presence. Because right now he really is just holed up in his main defending. The Flowchart Ken. Thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. That's an interesting name. I feel like there's a story behind that name. I guess Lambo doesn't count as Zerg. Oh, that's right. I did cast Lambo. First mana. Whatever. It's supposed to be like 2VP. Don't worry about it. Proxy gateway denied. All the upgrades going to finish here as HeRoMaRiNe moves out into the map. Gungfu, has he bought enough time for a big enough army? Because he certainly can't be depending on his technology. No Archons, no Storm, no upgrades. Ooh, a bunch of Marauders almost went down there. Good pickup. Especially when it's the Marauders getting sliced and diced. You actually want to go ahead and try and pick those up. Very well timed Warp Prism. Terran army goes out. Warp Prism comes in. You can't explain it. You can't. HeRoMaRiNe's going to be forced to well, deal with that, but also be distracted while he's trying to get to a really nice tank position. Raven also doesn't want to be sniped. It's not going to be sniped. The Stalker's on the wrong side of the engagement. And that's going to provide at least 1 anti-armor missile. Oh my god, it's going to get sniped! But why, though? Why I curse it so? Warp Prism seems like it was cleaned up temporarily. It goes back into the natural, but this push is looking too strong for Gungfu to actually hold on to. Thankfully, he did not take any Raven damage, but loses that second Immortal. Is not going to have the upgrade finish. Losing Stalkers. No room for micro-ability here. Zealots. No, those are probes. Just kidding. The probes are going to try and take on the tank line. HeRoMaRiNe demolishing Gungfu. Well done. Gungfu's aggression just not really working out there. It's not so much.